Some of us out there are trying to build businesses. They're trying to change their lives for the better. There's so many entrepreneurs in the world right now. But you know what? Trying to hold your life together at the same time can be pretty difficult. And you know, the world feels like it trusts nothing anymore. That's what we're going through right now. Anyway, welcome back to Leading Our Own Way. I'm joined by the wonderful, amazing, incredible, sweet Tamra Mancktelow. She's an entrepreneur, community builder, and someone who speaks with real honesty about what it costs to go all in and what it takes to stay well while you do it. We get deep into mental health, daily practices that keep you grounded, and why clarity around your values is the difference between chasing attention and building real trust. Tamra also unpacks personal branding in a time when trust is declining, and why authenticity isn't just a buzzword, it's the foundation of impact. If you want to make an impact by helping others make an impact, I think it starts with connection. That's what this episode is all about. Anyway, here's part 1 of part 2 with Tamra this week. Let's get into it. Part 1 starts now. Here we go. Welcome to Leading Our Own Way. I'm your host, Andrew White, and this is the podcast that unveils captivating narratives of resilience and personal triumph. This podcast is for anyone seeking inspiration and insights on overcoming life's challenges. Follow and subscribe, and then we can lead together forever. Before we dive in, I want to give a big, massive shout out to our now new proud sponsor, Eshu Skincare, a brand that truly aligns with Leading Our Own Way. This Australian-born company is dedicated to keeping skincare simple, effective, and straightforward. They've made waves in the US, even landed in Macy's and over 300 stores, and now they're back with a renewed focus on healthy skin and real results. If you want authentic skincare that fits your lifestyle, check them out in the show notes. Thanks to Eshu Skincare for supporting real stories and mental fitness on Leading Our Own Way. And if you're interested in sponsoring like Eshu Skincare, drop us a message. We'd love to connect. Tamra Mancktelow, welcome to Leading Our Own Way. How's your evening tonight?
So good. Thank you so much for having me. It's definitely been a challenging day, but we're here. We made it.
We are here, and it's I mean, we tried to film last week, didn't we? And you were in Bali.
Yeah, I was, and the internet was not being our friend, so here we are.
Here we are. We'd booked it for a week later. We've been talking. Well, I think we had our pre-chat like November, didn't we? We've known each other for some time now, and we've had a bit of a journey. I've followed your journey along the way, and I know we're going to get stuck into that, and it's incredible. And then Bali. I sensed the internet wasn't going to be great. It didn't end up being great, but tonight's the perfect night. Apart from, you are going through a few things. I'm so sorry to hear some of your news tonight, and I didn't want to do this, but then we kind of got speaking, didn't we? And you kind of loosened up, and it was really nice to see. Actually, for me, it was I'll be open here. When you came on, you seemed a little off. And I've never physically met you, but I did sense something. I don't know why, but I sensed it. And we got to talk, and you explained. And then through our conversation, you loosened up, and we're like, I think it's perfect. Let's go. So here we are. But first of all, I want to thank you for joining me on my journey. It's a pleasure an honor as well to have you on Leading Our Own Way. Each guest is part of my journey. But Tamra, what is going on with you at the moment then? Why has today been such a challenging day?
So a really important woman in my life, my great-grandmother, is currently in hospital with a nurse stationed with her 24/7. Permanently with her, directly. And today was significantly tough because I fly to Japan with my husband for our first international holiday tomorrow, which we're very excited for. However, I had to visit her today and potentially say goodbye to her for the last time. Hopefully not. But
Fingers crossed.
it was obviously just very heavy, and she's just been a big impact in my life and has always been a big rock for me, which I'm sure we'll get into later. But yeah, it was definitely very heavy, and it's definitely something that a lot of entrepreneurs don't talk about, is the balancing act of life when it happens and getting on with it sometimes, even though you don't enjoy it, or things are tough, and still making it work and still making your business move, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. You're on a bit of a mission, in your, in your business sense, your entrepreneurship, your career. What mission would you say you're on then?
I'm really passionate about helping other people share more of what they do best and share their voice. Um, I just magnify that and help them learn how to magnify that. A lot of what that's the essence of what I am doing and what I enjoy doing is actually the lasting impact of what the person I'm working with is creating.
Yeah,
I do that through marketing specifically, and personal branding. However, I am actually really invested in the person that I am helping. And I just love to share people's heart for what they're doing and why they're doing it, very similar to yourself. Um, and share that message with the world because generally a lot of people actually need to hear their message, and it's doing the people that need to hear it a disservice not sharing it. And that's something that a lot of people actually miss is like, particularly with content, it's like they think about it as an internal thing, but it's actually you're depriving people of a transformation, or you're depriving people from this experience that you're so passionate about and you've put so much effort and time and intention into. um, you're actually depriving people of that. And so stop making it about yourself and start actually making it about the people that you're here for. The reason you get out of bed every day.
yeah. I mean, that's your purpose, isn't it? Why you get out your bed every single day.
Yeah.
Is I just pretty quickly, we will come back onto that, but I didn't want you to feel that we just skated away from your grandmother. So first of all, I want to send my best wishes to you and your family regarding your grandmother. And she's a fellow Brit, isn't she? Of mine. She's a Brit. She's a former Brit from near London, apparently.
She is, yes, she is from Barnet, which is so funny because my husband goes for Chelsea Football Club.
Oh,
And
I
I
like
know,
Damien. Not anymore.
no, not any. But that would be like our local club if she still lived there, and which is really really cool to hear. But yeah, she is a Brit, loves a good cup of tea. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm a coffee man myself, but a lot of people that I know and in my life, especially the ladies, they do like the cup of tea. You've got your cup of tea there, right there, haven't you?
Actually, do have a cup of tea.
Oh, there we go.
And
There
then
she is.
a Christmas present actually from Damien.
Oh,
This,
nice. Well,
yeah,
I'll have to send you a lead in our own wake up.
I would love that. Would happily promote.
I'm choking on my water. Uh, so yes. Anyway, best wishes for your family, and I hope you get returned from Japan and get to see her. And you've got. It sounds like you've got some fond memories. You seem really close to her, and we'll get into because she's built part of your character, I suppose, hasn't she? She's been part of your life, and you've been really close. And it's amazing that you're so close to your great grandmother as well, because you've got your grandmother and your great grandmother. It's amazing. Love it.
It's really,
I'm still choking. You
yeah.
made me laugh there, Tamara.
Really. As I say to her when she's drinking water at the moment, I'll be like, and she coughs, I'll be like, it's got bones in it. No, does it?
Oh yeah, never heard of that one before.
Yeah,
There
it's
you
got
go.
bones in it.
Well, this podcast is intertwining how you lead your own way. We're going to get stuck into that. But if you could put your mental health scale number on a scale from 0 being rock bottom, 10 being content, let's say, where would you say you lie at the moment? And that might be a tough question considering with what you're going through. You can give us maybe two, one where you're at specifically right now, and maybe where you are generally in life.
I would say I naturally sit at about a 7. I'm very driven as a person, and my achievements do affect my mental health a lot. And I do put a lot of pressure on myself. That is something that I am navigating and learning at the moment, is to have a little bit more grace with myself. However, yeah, I would always say that you're never, I don't believe that there's ever like 100% contentment
Yeah.
um in life until you're kind of retired and you've lived your life kind of thing. um for example, like my great grandmother's position potentially, I feel like that is when contentment comes in, and that you can have contentment in moments, but I think the bigger picture is you want to constantly be moving, you want to constantly be evolving. And so I think the 7 to 8 is pretty healthy because there's always room for improvement. You're never done
Yeah.
until I guess we die. And so that's my perception. So as much as yes, it's like, oh, 7, like it could be better. Yes, it could be. But at the same time, I also am hungry for growth and I want to continue being the best version of myself, not only for me, but for the people around me. Um, it
Yeah.
obviously is something very individual. But it's taken me a long time to even get to this point and accept that I am a driven person and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, and that drive is really, I think if that's in your innateness, you cannot change it. And that obviously probably stems from your childhood, and I know we will get into that. But for anyone out there who is an entrepreneur, and you've just brought up about how you, I don't know, I forgot how you worded it, but how you respond to some of your achievements. Can you give us some examples of that then, your achievements, and how that might affect your mental health? Whether is it a dopamine hit, when you do so well, and then you want to ride that wave the next week where you want to hit that same baseline, if not more, but maybe the next week isn't the same because it isn't the same, is it? Like, I don't know. You know your life better than me. You talk to me about that
Yeah,
and how it affects you personally, because somebody on the other side of this podcast might be going, that is me, and I struggle with the same thing.
yeah. Particularly being a woman and a woman with ADHD. Halfway through getting my ADHD diagnosis at the moment, but
Yeah.
that particularly is very difficult for me, because I can't do it week to week. I've kind of had to get to a point now where I have to be comfortable with months, because week to week it fluctuates so much. So I would say in that, to women in business specifically, um, learn your cycle and learn what works for you.
Mm.
For me personally, the week before my cycle begins, I don't want to do anything. Absolutely nothing. Not even housework or cleaning or any like dopamine hit is even like not a dopamine hit. So it's pushing a boulder up a mountain that like 5 days. So for me, it's like intentionally tracking my cycle is really important and putting work that is putting work in different phases of my cycle is really important, and categorizing it. So for me right now, as I kind of shared, I'm going to Japan. I've pretty much got all of my clients pretty much set for until I like while I'm in Japan and a week after. And then all I have to do while I'm there is like maybe like an hour or two of work like in the morning and then an hour or two in the evening just to make sure things are ticking over, which is the life of an entrepreneur. But like it's making it work for you. And I think that the mental health side of the goalposts keep being moved. It is a thing of, yes, celebrate where you're at, but don't over celebrate there to the point where you don't move the goalpost quick enough and you lose your momentum.
Yeah.
Business is very much about momentum, and also like from a subconscious mind point of view, if you sit in celebration too long, um, your brain then goes, okay, like we're comfortable here. This is our new bench line. This is our new normal. And then trying to like make a goal and like keep moving is actually really difficult. That actually creates stop start momentum. So I found celebrating it for a night or a weekend, and then it's like, okay, let's go. Like, what's the next thing? That we're working towards. And yes, that might sound toxic because it's like you're constantly moving and you're never satisfied and all the things. And it's like, yes, but it's because I love it and because I actually want to have a bigger impact in the world. And it's like, it depends on your intentions behind it, I guess. For me, it is moving the goalpost means a new version of me that I have to become, a new version of me that I need to create, or new habits I need to have, or new skill sets that I need to learn. And sometimes, yes, that does it like translate into business growth and other times it doesn't. And so it's just being okay with that. I think a lot of business owners get wrapped up in the wrong things. When I say that, I think it's very easy to always focus on either the revenue in the business or the sales or things like that, which is, yes, very important. And it is something that you should be looking at weekly and monthly and quarterly and all those things. However, you need to have other goalposts that aren't monetary, in my opinion.
Like, what's that for you then?
For me, I would say it is like growing at the moment. For my goalpost at the moment is probably growing my connections. Mainly just because it's not always about me. Like, I'm not building connections to get more business. I'm building connections because I want to be able to someone come to me and be like, hey Tam, I'm like really struggling with X, Y, and Z, and I'll be like, perfect. I have this perfect person that would be great for that problem. Or like I can just be a connector, and I really enjoy that. That's like something I'm focusing on. But other goalposts could be that you actually take your content seriously, or that you invest in something in your business. It could be learning a different skill or getting better at a different skill. It could be observing your business operationally and being like, okay, what bottlenecks do we need to fix? Because then it's also depending on what your goals are. Like, certain things will move the needle on where you actually want to go in the big picture. It's just finding which one of those things and what one you want to focus on before moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. So, because what I get from you is you obviously want to add value. You mentioned before you want to add value to people and their services, meaning your clients and anyone that, is interested in working with you.
Mm-hmm.
But out there in the field that you're working in, I spoke to another entrepreneur, Sir Marco Robinson. We filmed a few months ago. He's a sir, by the way, Sir Marco Robinson. He's not out yet. It's episode 101, but it'll be out by the time this is out. And he said we're all-time low in trust
Yes.
out there, right? And I've always said that to myself, not thinking, I just felt it was just me thinking that and feeling that when I put stuff out there.
Yeah.
But connection, do you think people are valuing connection more than ever now because of the lack of trust? What's your take on all of that? Because obviously you're in it a lot more than I am, even though I just throw a bit of content out there every day for the poddy. But other than that, I'm still very much learning. I'm not a content creator yet. I have to content create, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. So this is where like the rise of personal brands is happening, because a lot of people don't trust, like, not stuff. People, hang on. People don't trust like just a business anymore.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm so passionate about personal branding, and I do it in a way that's not just online, because I don't think that personal branding is just how many Instagram followers you have.
Yeah, I agree.
Something controversial in the marketing space, because I do marketing, but I I think that's only 50% of it.
Yeah.
If you were to think about, if you were to meet someone online or if you were to meet someone in person, how much quicker would you become friends? So if you meet someone online, how long does it take for a friendship to happen? Probably at least 6 months. And on average, given data, 7 to 10 exposures before someone even follows you or engages with you, right?
Yeah.
In person, you can do that in 5 minutes.
Totally.
So
I agree.
the time collapse is massive. So this is where a lot of the content direction is also going. The more raw, honest, and real and in integrity with yourself that you can be, the more people are going to respect that. I hate the word authentic because it's like thrown around like a buzzword.
Yeah.
And I think it is, obviously authenticity is important, but you need to understand yourself so deeply to actually be authentic to you.
Yeah.
A lot of people throw it out there and they're like, oh, I like this, so I'm going to do that. But then they're still copying other people's content, which is fine to use as inspiration. But being authentic to you is actually finding what is your unique difference. And, it's the same thing of like, there's hundreds of PTs out there, but you're gonna pick Sally because of how she delivers information to you, or you're gonna pick Mark because of the type of content he puts out, or his views on health and wellness, or his beliefs. And you're like, I believe the same thing, so I'm going to invest in you. It's the same thing. You can be selling the same service. It's how you deliver your unique information, or how you deliver your unique perspective to the world, and doing it in a way that builds that trust. And that comes with consistency, unfortunately. And a lot of people don't like to hear that. But if people can see that you're flaky, it just creates distrust. So yes, they are craving it, but I think there's more options now to create that connection than ever before.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably why. Look, for me with the podcast, I think obviously this is a new world, and I don't have people around me to talk to all day. I just went with the feel, and I learned everything raw myself, researching, reading, watching videos, even things like the snippets, the conversations. I've kept it completely. Well, the definition of bringing up authenticity, I agree, everyone does throw that word around a lot, but the definition of authenticity for me is telling the truth but believing it. And the things that I share is the truth, and I truly believe in it. So everything I share, I do tend to believe in it. Now, it's different perspectives, of course. All the different guests offer their own, whether it's scientific research, whether it's their own trauma. I'm giving the perspective of that guest to the world. And there might, I wouldn't shove something out there that I don't necessarily agree with, if that makes sense. So I hope that builds the trust with the audience. I've never spent really any money on marketing because, one, I don't have it because I have to, do everything else in the life and provide and whatnot. And I still reach the top 10% in the world. So I'm grateful for that. And I must be doing something right. But I do feel sometimes, man, if I did this like this guy, or did that guy, it probably reached something higher and quicker. But I don't believe it's my way, and I don't believe what they're necessarily doing is my style. So I've always stuck with my own integrity and gone, I'm just going to go with what I feel is right for the podcast. It's because people keep saying, you should do this, you should do that. Maybe I should, but I don't want to reach that sky quicker just because that, I don't know, clickbait might work. It doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't sit right with me. Does that make sense?
Like, and that's your podcast is basically your business. And I believe that, it's like a business mentor giving you advice, and then you're like, I don't want to do that. Or it's the same when you're like a teenager and your parents are like, I think you should do this, and you're like, nah, I'm going to do it this way, and F around and find out, as people would say, in Australia. And then you learn the lesson that they tried to teach you anyway. But it's a
So you're saying I should listen to these people then?
No, actually, I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying that a lot of people will give their opinions and their 2 cents, and this is where understanding your impact and your mission and how you want to do something is really important, regardless if you're in business or not. What you actually want to do out of life and the advice that you take on should filter through like a funnel of, is this actually in alignment with where I want to go? Is this actually going to help me get there? Is it in a way that I want to be associated with? Is it something that I value? Is it within my values? All of those things, a lot of people actually just like go through life and don't actually really think about what they value in their life. And so life just gets swept away from them. And then before they know it, they're 60 and they're like, oh, I really value family. And then they've been working their whole time in a job. So it's just the earlier that you can understand your values and what you want in this life and your purpose and how you want to live that, everything else becomes easier, because everything becomes a funnel, and then you have almost like tunnel vision, like a horse on a race, because it's like this, like that's not something I want to listen to, or that's not something I want to entertain. It's kind of like the notion of, as well, another example is when you don't take advice from people who aren't where you want to be. as well.
You're very true. Yeah. Yeah.
That same concept, I believe, is very important. And a lot of people need to actually like sit down and really reevaluate, or just even evaluate and understand themselves deeper and be like, what do I value? What do I want out of life? And what purpose am I doing this for?
Mm.
That's beyond me.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. Good food for thought there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
With so for me, like going back to what you said about, I forgot how you said it now, but for me, I didn't rush into this. I sat on this. I bought the names and had the concept for like a year and a half, and I had to go and work on myself, right, to get to the spot where I could have these conversations and give the body, the mind, the mind and body everything it needed to be able to be even creative, because I was not creative to even make the artwork myself, and to even think to make the artwork, the website. I never done anything like podcast studio, all of that, the audio. I'm still learning. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely not an expert, even though I've been doing this for, by the time this goes out, it'll be just over 2 years. Still very much learning and love learning. However, I needed to put things in my mind and body, fix me, because I wasn't broken, but I certainly had to bring myself back mentally from where I was in order to be in a good space to do it. So I didn't rush into it. And I'm so glad I didn't, because I think this would have flopped a year before if I'd started it the year before with the old Andy. For you and what you do, going back to where you said about achievements and sitting in that celebration for a short amount of time, otherwise you might miss an opportunity if you celebrate for too long, right? What do you do on a daily basis? Do you have a practice to keep yourself grounded, let's say, or give the mind and body everything it needs to stay disciplined? And I like the word discipline probably more so than motivated. But yeah, what do you do to keep in that good headspace to keep your business going?
Yeah, interesting question. Thank you for asking.
Of
I
course, it's my job.
um I am a Christian, so for me it is spending time with the Lord. Um Whatever it is for you, I very strongly believe that you need to either have some form of practice where you are present in that moment.
Agree.
Where for me, it's my religion, and being a Christian, I low key hate the word religion, but um, just because I just don't really fully align with it. Everything that I do and I practice is because I have that personal relationship with God and I want to do those things. It's not actually someone's told me that I have to do that.
Yeah,
So
good.
that's personally for me, where I'm at and understanding myself in that. For other people, it could just be simple, like walking their dog in the morning and not actually taking their phone, whatever it is for you. But those mental presences of reflection and being open and receptive and giving your headspace time for ideas to come in. This world is so busy,
Mm.
so busy, particularly since COVID. It feels like the years have sped up. And the more you can actually be present in your life, it's going to be difficult when you first do it. But if you can be present, even just like for 2 to 5 minutes, that groundedness actually opens up what you should be doing. And to be honest, for me, I honestly would attest to everything that I have in and the growth that I have in my business to God, but it's individual to every person.
Of
And
course.
I would say having that having that rock in my life has been really important. And I wouldn't say that I am. It's crazy because some people are like, you're so disciplined, and it's like, in business, yeah, but I have a PT because I'm not disciplined with the gym. Like,
Yeah.
it's like it depends on like what
Yeah.
you want out of life. Like, I want that really bad, but because of how my values are, my business is higher than my health at the moment in terms of my value line, line there.
I'm
But
shaking my finger to everyone who's listening to this.
it's something that I'm like reshuffling for sure. And it's definitely been like me burning myself out. And obviously, in times for me, I say obviously, but for me, I've had times where I've been sitting with the Lord and He's like, Tamra, you burnt out again. Like, we need to fix this. And like, so for me, it is a big part of my life. And my husband runs and stuff like that. So I'm very have a lot of positive influences around me. A lot of the people around me are very active. So I am active. I'm just not as active as I would want to be.
Yeah.
Um, so it just depends. And I think everyone's level of discipline is very individualized, and particularly for women, it's even more individualized. Um, so I kind of just have, as I said earlier, I really have to have grace with myself because that's when my mental health would kind of go into a decline. And then I remember that it's like a week before my cycle starts. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's fine. Like, because I'll be like,
Yeah.
why can I not do this work? Or why can't I do X, Y, Z? So for me, as I said before, that is really important. And yeah, I guess having what you need to figure out what works for you. I don't think that there's a one size fits all. Some
No.
people it's accountability, some people it is that mental presence, some people it is actually just getting clear on what they actually want. And other people it's actually being clear on the path to get there because a lot of people be like, I want this, but then they're like, oh, I don't know how to get there, and it seems like too overwhelming of a task. Literally just go into Chat GPT and be like, I want to hit this goal in this time frame. What do I need to be doing on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis? Boom.
Yeah.
We'll spit it out. Like use AI to help you. That would be my biggest advice.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you have a particular, I mean, morning, I ask this because it comes up pretty much not far off every episode. Do you have a morning routine, a morning practice
I
that's personal to you that you're willing to share, that is?
Yeah, I would say it's consistent. Personally, particularly at the moment when I'm traveling so much, I find that my morning routine gets thrown out of whack a bit. A lot of the time, particularly at home, it's having a coffee, reading my Bible, and journaling. I
Yeah.
personally really like to journal my thoughts rather than like pray them. I'm
Yeah.
weird like that. It
That's not weird.
it just takes like so much more energy in my head. I don't know what it is, but then other times I love it. So it's just I think it just depends on my season. But that's something I do like pretty much every day is those things. However, it's also it fluctuates all the time. And particularly in the season I'm in at the moment, my life is very with the travel, but also my husband being home all the time now from selling his business, it has very much been a learning curve and like a change and adaptation in routines. So I'm still figuring it out at the moment, but they probably need some caffeine to be able to function as a human, need to be hydrated, and I need to be filled back with the Lord and the Holy Spirit.
Amazing. No,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that you shared that because everyone has their, like you say, it's not catered to one individual. It's everyone has their own approach, and sometimes people are up at 4 a.m. to go to work, aren't they? And unfortunately, people have to do shift work sometimes, so they can't maybe have that morning routine. Their routine might be when they come home or
Yeah.
in the middle of the day, maybe. But yeah, no, I appreciate. When do you typically work out then with your PT? Would it be a morning or would it be more like in the evening?
No, I really like afternoons.
Oh yeah,
It's
good.
really, I just find that in the morning I really struggle to like perk up my energy. And I find that I'm like way more drained throughout the day if I work out in the morning. I'm really, really random.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I will do it if someone's like, hey, do you want to meet at the gym? I'll be like, sure, but I don't enjoy it. So afternoons work really well for me personally. So normally that 1 or 2 o'clock time, and it's also quieter at the gym then, so it's really great for me.
Yeah.
So that's generally when I'll go, or I do run club once a week when I'm home. That's at like 5 p.m. and I really enjoy that. So evening or afternoons are normally when I really enjoy working out. Something that Damien and I do every day is take Chels for a walk in the afternoon. So that's kind of my closing shift, if you will. That's kind of me stepping out of work into home life, and I kind of have let the boundaries slip the past couple of weeks with working when I've finished that. So I've done that and eaten dinner, and then I go back and work.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to be intentional about that boundary being like the walk is the start of my evening and my work is done.
Yeah.
So sometimes we'll push out the walk for that. I think I need more, I'm more of like an evening routine person because than a morning routine person, personally.
Do you sleep well then?
I do sleep really well, but I can sometimes get wired and it takes me a bit to fall asleep, but I love sleep. Like I
Well,
can,
everybody loves sleep. Whether you love sleep or not, it doesn't mean you sleep well.
yeah, I can nap and still sleep like 9 hours of a night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a bit psycho when it comes to sleep.
No, sleep is so important. I think, actually on my recovery journey, let's say, when I tried to, fix myself, put my double fingers up there. But I started reading about sleep. That was my first point of call was sleep. And again, it's not that I didn't sleep well. Well, I did actually because I had pains in my back, but I reversed all of that pain. I wasn't sleeping well, and I realized how important sleep really was. I mean, we all know sleep's important, but I always share on the podcast, like if you think about it, we've always slept since the day of dawn, since humans, we've been around, our physiology's been around for like, I don't know, 4 million years. But sleep right now, the CEO of Netflix actually started off by saying, I want people to watch Netflix all night. Like that was his mission statement, I think, at the marketing scheme at the beginning when it first started. But you think about it, we can't get that out of its brain's repertoire because the three things we want to do as humans is eat, sleep, and eat, defend ourselves, and reproduce. But they're the three things we cannot do when we're sleeping. Just taking a very quick break to thank our sponsor, Eshu Skincare. If you haven't heard of them, Eshu Skincare started right here in Australia, using Australian ingredients to make skincare straightforward and accessible, especially for men who want results without the fuss. Their journey took them all the way to the US, where they were featured in Macy's and over 300 stores. Now they're back with a fresh approach, focusing on healthy skin and authenticity for everyone. I'm proud to have Eshu Skincare as a sponsor on Leading Our Own Way. See the show notes for their website and to see how you can keep your skin healthy and confident. And if you're interested in sponsoring like Eshu Skincare, drop us a message. We'd love to hear from you. Now, right back to the episode.
Yeah.
That's how important sleep is, because we can't do the three main things we're meant to do whilst we're sleeping. And the brain hasn't ever evolutionized sleep out of its repertoire. So we should be putting sleep pretty much before most things, or at least par with movement and food, good, half decent food.
100%, yeah. Sleep is probably the biggest one I protect the most. So one thing I've been doing a lot at the moment is, we've now put our phones since the new year. We put our phones in the office, so we don't need to put our phones to bed. Having more mood lighting on a little bit before bed, and things like that. And then if I'm reading, I'll read a page book, not my Kindle, even though the Kindle's not actually that bright.
Yeah.
Still just read pages. Sometimes it's my Bible. Sometimes it's a personal development book. At the moment, I'm reading Dare to Lead, and that's a really good book. So it kind of depends. Sometimes it's a fiction book. It depends. But that's something that I've been really, I'm very protective of. And
Good.
yeah, I'm a grumpy girl when I'm woken up, unfortunately. So if I can get to bed earlier, it makes my husband's life way easier.
Well, I won't keep you all night then, so we can keep you married. I'd love for you to share what your business name is. If anyone's interested in reaching out to Tamra for her services, please tell us your email and your social network. I'll put everything in the show notes. But and once you've done that, I'd love you to share the type of people come to you, and maybe a typical client that comes to you and who's a beautiful success story in your eyes. Could you share someone? Yeah, give us an example.
Yeah, of course. So you can find me on Instagram at Tamra Mancktelow. I am also on TikTok at Tamra Mancktelow. You can reach out to me via email at info@tamramancktelow.com, or my business name is Elevate Agency. Hopefully by the time this podcast comes out, I will have my website and it'll be elevateagency.com.au, or I also have tamramancktelow.com.au for my personal brand. A little bit about my business and the kind of clients I work with. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs naturally, being in the personal brand space. And I also work with their businesses. So a lot of the time I'm working for the individual and their business in social media. Yeah, a particular client that I love and have been working with for a long time is my client Beck. And it's really exciting because we've just encountered and started a new chapter together where I support coach inside of her um, program that she's running. So she is a fitness coach, and she also now coaches early fitness coaches to have a successful business. And so I'm in there and helping people with their marketing and their socials and their content, which
What's
is
Beck's second name? Sorry.
Beck Cameron.
Filming with her on the 9th of April.
Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I got you guys in contact.
It
Yeah.
was you who got me in contact, but we've not actually spoken whether we've gone ahead with it. And we tried for ages, and we just then forgot about each other, and then kind of got back. And I'm filming. We've done the pre-chat, but sorry to interrupt, and I want you to carry on. But we're filming on the 9th of April. By the time this has gone out, we'll already filmed. Hey,
Yay! So good. Yeah, she's amazing. You guys are gonna get so much value out of this chat with Beck. She's incredible. And yeah, we've been working together for like I'd say 15 months, but probably when this podcast comes out, potentially even like a year and a half.
mm.
Yeah, it's so good. I have so many clients, like I could literally rattle them off. But like they're all so amazing, and they all just have such big hearts, and they're so passionate about what they do. And I particularly wanted to highlight Beck because she's very much been a big support for me in my business in having a lot of grace. When I first started with her and compared to where I'm at now, my business has evolved a lot, and she's really helped me and had grace with me with it, and it's been so beautiful. And she's one of my closest friends as well, which is really lovely. So a lot of my clients become really good friends because I
Love
just
that.
work so closely with them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you guys are going to get so much value out of Beck. And yeah, that's pretty much a little bit about what I do and who I am and the kind of clients I work with. But yeah, I pretty much do anything from strategy all the way through to execution on marketing. But then I also do consulting and personal branding as well, which is a done with you service and or a consulting service as well. So that kind of can look very different, but that's the essence of what I do. And it's very much from a strategic lens rather than just posting content for the sake of it. It's really understanding your mission, what you do, why you do it, and also who it's for, and making sure that the content that we're producing is actually in alignment with the brand message and also really lands for that ideal client.
Yeah, love that. So you mentioned when you started off with Beck. How's Tamra's different from when you started with her to the person you are now then?
Yeah, well, it's so funny. I started out this business. It kind of started out as like a VA, and then I just naturally gravitated to doing a lot of content or Canva stuff or making presentations or making graphics for Instagram or giving them content ideas and things like that. And so I was like, well, I have a marketing degree, so I should just maybe focus on that.
Makes
And
sense.
so I have. And it's been awesome. It's been like the best pivot I've ever had or done. Is doing that, and it's been so good. And to be honest, this direction that my business has moved into is actually really in alignment for me in terms of how I operate. I really, as I've kind of shared previously, but the past 6 to 8 months, I've really dialed in on what works for me, what doesn't, what do I need to implement in my business for things to operate streamlined, and I feel really supported, and not the business. I'm supporting the business supports me, which takes a bit of time to get to, and I'm really grateful for that. And so I just really work well with like monthly cycles, um, which is so ironic being a woman, And so that works really well for me. But then I also really enjoy projects and doing ad hoc stuff because I get really excited by it, and I love that I can do things like on a whim just for a season, and then like once the project is done, it's done. So certain things are really fun with that. But yeah, it's definitely been a journey to navigate, and it's taken a bit of time and I guess refinement over time. Yeah,
Because
it's
you said you went into you. I remember you saying that you went really all in around October 2024. What did that look like just before that? And go, okay, I'm going all in on this, because that must be scary as well, right? For those, I mean, it's scary for me. I can't leave my job until I have funds coming in here to
yeah.
match, and then I can go see ya, right? Because obviously the stage of my life. If I was younger, I'd probably be quite happy with that fear. So anyone else who's thinking about change, or shall I jump in, take us back to October 24 when you went all in. Have I got that right? I'm assuming I got that right.
Got that right. Yeah. So October 24, I was working a marketing job at full time, and I was servicing like 4 or 5 clients at the time alongside a full time job. And oh, the burnout was hectic, but I loved it. And then what happened was I was getting to the point where I was signing like a new client every month, and I did the math, and I was like, I think I could actually like be making similar to what my wage is if I like stopped it and just upped everyone's hours. Because I was still VAing at that point. Definitely way more on the creative side, but I was still doing VA at that point. And it was so funny. I like got really sick for a week. I went away with a client. They flew me down to Melbourne, and I was supporting them with an event in Melbourne. Came back, was back for 2 days, and I got so sick to the point where I was off for a week. And then my job was like actually like pretty much made me redundant. They were like, "We don't need you," and I was like, "Interesting."
Mm.
So yeah, I kind of like was gonna quit anyway because I was literally at the point I did the numbers while I was sick, and I was like, I could do this like full time. And
They
then
sensed it.
it was, yeah, and then they were like, we actually don't need you. And it was because I actually take that as such a testimony because when I came in, that business was literally making content the same day and posting it the same day. They were like coming up with the concept, filming it, editing it, and posting it same day. And but the time that I went away, we were 5 weeks ahead in editing, like, and scheduled content. So I was
Yeah.
really happy with where we were going, and there was like a massive list for like the next 2 months of what we had to film and everything like that. Like we were 5 weeks ahead in like done content. Like that was we still had weeks ahead of filming. It was just needed to be edited, or it was in the editing phase and all that kind of stuff. So we were probably like 10 weeks ahead in content.
Yeah. Wow.
And so it was like just really interesting how everything just kind of happened that way. And yeah, that's kind of why I went all in. And then in
Love it.
October, I signed a new client, um, which it was really, really cool. And I still work with her to this day. And I signed Beck in November. So it was like as soon as that happened, I had all these clients come in, and then the clients that I was servicing upped my hours as well. So I kind of went full time. And yeah, I pretty much had a new client up until February, and I pivoted my business around my May, and that was the first time I had a 5 figure month, cash month, which was
Wow.
really, really cool, and really
Oh,
crazy because it was like my first month, like I made this new direction, and I was like finished up with some clients, and it was like I hit my first 5 figures. It was crazy. Um, June, that was May. June was pretty hectic too. Went on tour, and then I went to Greece. And then I came back, and my business like kind of like stalled, and then I was like, what am I doing? And I went
oh.
through a massive identity crisis. And it was kind of around November, December, just this past year that I really like refined what I do, and I figured out um how to actually like get my business moving forward. And now I'm pretty much like know what I need to do. Like if I want to grow my business more and like bring in more revenue, like I now have a system of like, great, I need to do more of X or I need to do more of Y, which is really, really cool because I didn't have that before. And in my previous business, I used to do network marketing. It was kind of like you have to meet people somehow. And it was just kind of like trying to meet people who weren't in business and not have like a awkward intention, because you don't want to like come in at being like with the intention that you're doing it for business either, because people sense that too. So it was definitely like this way I do business now feels so much more organic and doesn't feel like I'm pushing people. And I'm really at a point at the moment now where I'm like, if you want to work with me, great. And if you don't, that's totally cool. Wish you all the best. I'm here if you ever need anything in the future, or is there people that I can connect you with that'll be a better fit? So
Yeah.
it's very different now, which is really, really cool. And I'm really proud and happy of where I'm at. But it's taken so much time and refinement, and also having the right people around you to support you in your business and give you guidance in your business is so important. I've invested in business coaches in the past, which were amazing. Don't get me wrong, they grew me as a person so much. However, I was at a point in this time last year in July where I was like, great, I've done so much personal development now. Like I've been an entrepreneur for like 5 years. I've done the work, you know. I need someone to actually help me with my business, like the actual infrastructure. And a lot of people call themselves a business coach, and they actually coach the person behind the business, not the actual business. And so it's having discernment of what you actually need at that moment, and who fits the mold for you is really important. And that was something that I had to find, and I found, and it's been amazing. And been working with her now for I've actually just like re-signed with her, so I'm literally working with her for like a year and a half in total.
Who's that? That's Beck, is it?
No, not Beck. Her name's Taylor. Her name's Taylor Lee on Instagram. If you want to see her, she's amazing. Business consultant. And
Oh,
yeah,
sorry, she's the coach. Sorry,
yeah, she's my business coach.
the business coach. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing. But I've
Amazing.
also met some incredible other people through my circles that I've met, and they also are just we just support each other in business. Like, what can I do to help you? What can like, and then it's like they also will come to me if I can help them,
Brilliant.
or vice versa. So it's really good. You need to just get a good community of people around you and a good base. And I think that's really important, regardless if you're an entrepreneur or not. You need
Agree.
to have that solid base of soundboard for your life, and it needs to be someone outside of your everyday bubble, if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah, no, it does. Well, in terms of content, you'll be happy to hear that I'm like 16 weeks ahead. I know it's actually become a problem, a good problem. But I'm slowing down. I'm going to take a bit of time off over the next couple of months. So in terms of filming, anyway, not in terms of publishing, but just in terms of filming, so I can have my nights back a little bit with with the family. It might be sacrificing a few things. I need to take some time off, I reckon. So
Yeah, you
but
do.
I knew you'd like that one. I was about 16 weeks ahead. And I agree with you. I can kind of relate to what you said. I don't feel I need to, be desperate when I'm approaching a guest. I go, I'll explain the core values of the podcast, and I'll explain why I do what I do, so they can see my, I suppose that word that we don't really want to throw around, but my authenticity behind the poddy. And, if they don't, I'm like, that's cool. And if you do, great. Let's talk about it and see how we can go and help millions of people. That's kind of the approach that I, wanted to do as well. And even if just one person listens to it, I'm okay with that too. I'm not chasing figures. I think I'd probably be so down in myself if I was looking for those figures to constantly just keep going up every month, because they don't, right? They go up and then they might come down, and the watched hours might go down, and then they go up again, and then I'll go down. I'll go, I've not done anything different for that to happen. And then I get into that cycle and go, shit, why is it going down? And then it goes super up, and I'm like, okay. And I'm trying to control myself to go, no, it doesn't actually matter. And I feel like I've worked it out, I'm okay with it dipping. And I don't even then go and look of why it dips, because there's no telling signs of why it's dipped, because people are still listening to the episodes a year ago still, you
Yeah,
know?
100%. I like to think of like content and consuming content like the stock market. Like sometimes there's actual things that happen that cause it, and then other times it's actually just the stock market doing its thing. And at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it all evens out. And if you look at the long-term growth, it's like this. It's like that's all you're kind of really like looking for.
Yeah.
A lot of, yeah, sometimes it's refinement when needed, but what you're doing sounds like it's doing great.
Yeah. I do little tweaks here and there. No one will really notice the tweaks, but I try. And if it doesn't, and sometimes I haven't even got time to tweak it, because then it adds an extra half an hour a week on that I don't have. So I have to then maybe lose something. Anyway, this is not about me. This is about you. For you, when you did your, you said you studied marketing, you did a degree in it. That was also attached? Because at that time you were kind of in the entertainment industry as well, right? Were you studying that as well?
So I did a Bachelor of Industries majoring in marketing and entertainment, or a Bachelor of Business and Creative Industries majoring in marketing and entertainment.
Yeah.
I started that right after I went to like finish school, and I actually had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. And because my mum um I grew up with my mum being a dance teacher, and so I was always dancing growing up. And also, a lot of the people who she was teaching, when they became an adult, the first thing that they did was go and get a cruise ship job and travel the world. And so I very much had not the typical, I saw my mum go to a 9 to 5 job, or a lot of people around me were just like living life and going to a 9 to 5. It was very much of like, you can get paid to travel the world and that kind of thing. So I've always kind of never seen myself really in a normal job for that reason. And I was just like, you know what? I would love to go to uni. I think it'll be fun. I don't know. Now I'm like thankful because it's like kind of related to my work, but people don't like before they hire me go, what qualifications do you have? And I'm like, here's my uni degree. Whereas like if like I was going for more of a corporate job, it'd be necessary. I'm not saying that it wasn't worth it, but I took longer to do the course because I was unsure. And so my thing is, if you're looking at tertiary study, actually think about if this is a long-term thing, or if you're doing it just because you think it'll be fun. Because if you think it's going to be fun, it is fun, but there's also a lot of work involved, and it's a lot of money for you to just have fun. There's cheaper options for having fun. Traveling the world is cheaper than getting a uni degree. So,
Oh, it's crazy, that, isn't it?
yeah, crazy. So, I was studying that at 17. That was crazy to think about that's when I graduated school. I was 17. And yeah, I was doing a uni degree then. But it
Were
took
you ahead of schedule?
No, in Queensland, when I was in school, everyone was 17 when they graduated.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so we were like 17 and everyone else was like 18 in all the other states.
Oh, well, in England, we leave high school at 16. Well, we did when I did anyway.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
that's super young. Like, but
Well, then if you want to go to uni, though, you still have to go to college for 2 years. So you'd still go to uni at 18. You
right.
won't go straight to uni at 16. You'd have to do 2 years of college to get to university. So it leveled out in the end, essentially.
Yeah, right. Because I
Yeah.
was always confused about college in the UK specifically.
Yeah.
Because I know
That's
that
it.
college is like in America is like university here.
It
Like
is.
live
Yeah,
there.
it's two different in England. Yeah, you from
Yeah.
high school you go to college and then college to university, and you have to pass. So you do GCSEs at high school, and then A levels in college, and then when you get your A levels, I think you do 5 A levels, or depending on where you want to go in uni, you do obviously what matches, and then you go and get your degree after your A level. So you got GCSEs, A levels, degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. I'm so sorry you had to do that.
No, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I went through all the way through to university, and then after university, worked as a financial advisor for a couple of years, and then boom, I thought I'm just earning money off people's debt. That's quite depressing, and I was in bloody good money, and I went, nah, I'm out. So I sold my car and went traveling the world around for a year and backpacked. I was a backpacker. How I ended up in Australia, through the game of basketball, but and teaching, but originally it was backpacking. So yeah. You, Yeah, I know. And when you meet me, you'll look at me and go, you play basketball? You're too short to play basketball.
That's fine. I'm technically too short to be a professional dancer, but I
So
did.
did you grow up dancing from what age did you start dancing?
Well, my mum was like used to dance and
Yeah.
from when she was really young. Like she was a teenager when she started teaching. So I've been dancing technically since I was an embryo in my mum. If we really
I like that.
it. So yeah, I've pretty much been dancing since I could walk. Pretty much. And so, but having your mum as your dance teacher is pretty rough. I wouldn't recommend it personally,
Yeah,
but
my son would say that about basketball, being his coach. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's great, but because they're your parent and they want you to succeed, they almost put like more pressure on you, and it just is a lot. But
Yeah.
anyway, yes, I did grow up dancing. In high school, I did two dance subjects and I did like two fitness subjects. So like, I think this is where my health stuff, like circling back to what we talked about earlier, is I've never done like go to the gym or go to running or XYZ. Growing up, it was always like every night I was at the dance studio and it didn't feel like working out.
Yeah.
It was
I felt the same about basketball. Yeah, I didn't need to go running because I was running on a basketball court.
yeah, so it's just kind of like now it's something I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it, but I'm also a person that is naturally quite lean because of I guess my mum's metabolism has passed down to me from dancing or whatever.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I naturally stay quite lean, and so for me to actually get motivated in the gym, I need the dopamine of seeing results.
Might
And
change when you hit 40.
yeah, who knows? But I know it's something I want to get like better at for that reason that, I want longevity and all of those kinds of things and the health benefits of working out at the gym and all of those things. I get that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's also like it doesn't. I don't see. I need to go consistently, and I know I've done it before. I just need to go consistently to get results, and then I like get the dopamine from it and love it. It's just like making it a habit is very difficult for me, particularly with my ADHD, and because sometimes like the day just goes before I even realize in business. But yeah, I do dance sometimes, recreationally, but yeah, did do it professionally actually.
What was your dance? What type was it?
Growing up, I did
Yeah.
everything.
Everything.
Absolutely.
Ballet, break dancing.
Yeah, I did hip hop, tap, jazz, ballet,
Nice.
contemporary. Um, there's like a specific, I forget the name of it because I haven't done it since I was like young. Like I was like 13 the last time I did it or something, or 15, which has been over 10 years. But it was like associated with ballet. Did that. I even did cheerleading in primary school and was like captain of cheer squad. Yeah, I've done everything really.
That's cute. I love that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that.
I've done it all. Yeah, so that's been a big part of my life and was just something I always enjoyed, and it's never really felt like working out either. And I
Yeah.
find dancing even now is more of a mental challenge for me to like pick up the choreography and retain it and then actually perform it how I feel confident. Um, is that's actually the challenge for me more than the actual workout part of it. And now, like, because when I was a kid, it was different. Now, because I've been dancing as an adult longer, I now know how I like to do certain moves and things like that because I like how it looks on my body shape and things like that. So that's also something you learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely more of like a mental thing of like the pace of a class and how quickly you pick up the choreography, and then executing that is actually the part that is hard for me rather than actually being able to perform physically for it.
Yeah, I love that. Is there any part of your personality from a child that you can see, or maybe has been behind parts of your characteristics and your personality as an adult? Well, Tamra's already taken us deep into what it really means to build trust, live your values, and protect your mental health while chasing something bigger than yourself. But we're only just getting started. In part 2, when we drop on Wednesday, we're going to go even deeper and further into the personal side of a story: identity, family, dynamics, toxic relationships, and the inner work that shapes the leader you become. If something in this episode hit home, don't just listen, share it with somebody who needs it, and please leave a review. The reviews really help. Please get a lot of reviews up there to help this message reach more people. Part 2 will be dropping Wednesday, but it might already be there waiting for you. So depending on when you listen to. So let's keep walking this road together. Come back. We'll see you then. Oh, Tuesday Truths tomorrow as well. The small bite-side app. Anyway, here we go. We'll see you soon. Enjoy. Keep leading your own way. Join us tomorrow to hear more from today's incredible guests and learn valuable insights to help you lead your own way. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you then.